5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Deducter bringing you set 2 of the OSL Ro24 Group F. We have today Free versus Hero. Free, a sort of perennial presence in the lower rungs of Star Leagues and Pro League, not playing particularly well these days. He is the yellow Protoss at the 7 o'clock position, and we have Hero, mediocre-ish Zerg on XTX, at the 1 o'clock position as the purple Zerg. So here's hoping for a good ZVP game. Free is capable of delivering. He has been known to come from behind in several prominent ZVPs. But Hero is not one of those truly great players here, so I'm not really sure whether he can... Well, it depends on how well Free plays. Free does not play particularly well these days, so I think Hero will actually be quite a bit of a challenge here. If this were Pro League and Free were doing well, then I don't think Hero stands too much of a chance. Looks like Free is going to scout that nothing is unusual is coming from Hero soon enough. Hero looks like he has gone for the Overpool build, which is becoming quite common now in ZVP these days. So he looks like Free is trying to do his best to pick away at one of these drones. If he succeeds here, then that'd be a nice little bonus. It is not uncommon for Protoss players to be able to accomplish that these days. It looks like Hero sending out a drone here, going to try to put down his expansion, and Free is not going to contest that. He wants to try to pick away at a drone with his probe. He has managed to get that drone down to half health, but that's still not quite enough of damage that he's caused. He's managed to pick away another drone here, getting a few hits on that, but again, not really accomplishing much. So Free looks like he is going to have his cannons out in time without much of a problem. Pool is finished here for Hero. He's also put down his second hatchery at the 3 o'clock position, which is fairly typical of Zerg players on this particular map. Free persisting with some harassment by his probe. He's sort of doing it intermittently. I mean, he really wants to succeed. He probably needed to be a bit more focused. Zerglings, though, is going to put a stop to this and force Free's probe to run around at the very least. And it looks like Free is going to park his probe there at the natural. Maybe he hopes to delay the expansion for as long as possible. After all, keeping those Zerglings running about and that probe is actually going to be able to delay this expansion for a little bit, but not really too much time there. Too long, rather, I should say. And Free, still with the probe, running about, getting chased around by a single Zergling. Zergling cannot catch up to the probe. Slow Zerglings cannot catch up to a probe, which is interesting to note. Whereas they can catch up to, for instance, an SCV, although not particularly well, but they can definitely catch up to an SCV. His probe doing its best to float around, scout, seeing that nothing atypical is coming from the third player, and there, Free getting his probe caught a little bit by an incoming drone, almost getting killed, but managing to save it just in time. Free with his Nexus up, it appears. Let's see what sort of strategy he opts to employ here. Whether he opts for more DT-heavy strategy, which I think would be not the wisest decision on this map, is easy for a Zerg player to defend. And interesting enough, the layer going down at the 3 o'clock position there for Hero. He's feeling confident about saving that base. I mean, honestly, the Zerg player does need to be able to save that base. If they lose that base early on, it is GG. So that is one of the reasons why Zerg often more their layer at the natural. The extra health can actually be a boon during a especially protracted or intense Protoss assault. And if they lose natural, it's GG anyway, or almost always GG anyway. So there is no reason not to put the layer at natural here. It's a little less usual to see the layer going down at the what is the third base, even though Hero put it down second, and now a lot of Zerglings out here for Hero. Still Free managing to escape with his probe. It looks like he's probably not going to be able to keep that probe around much longer. He should have his Corsair out. Looks like Free is actually still with that probe, persisting with his efforts. Very nice probe micro, I have to say. Now Speedlings are finished. That probe is toast. So that's the end. The probe has served its purpose quite admirably, I have to say, surviving until Speedlings came out, which is sort of what Bisu is known for doing. Now, the first Corsair should be out soon. If not already, I see something scouting around very fast on the map that is surely the first Corsair. Although it might be Lings by Hero. Unfortunately, the mini-map does not have quite high enough resolution, and it looks like they are Lings. They are definitely Lings by Hero. Hero scouting around, making sure there are no proxies. It looks like he's almost finished with his Spire. So the advantage that Hero will have, of course, is, if Free goes for Dark Templar, is that his bases are very close together, and it will be difficult for a Protoss player to be able to successfully kill enough Overlords or to delay the reinforcements enough such that the Dark Templar can be employed effectively. Dark Templar are best when the Zerg bases are separated out far, far apart. In those cases, Dark Templar are really good because it'll take forever for the Zerg to get reinforcing Overlords, for instance, in another position, or even reinforcing troops. Looks like 2 Overlords going down for Hero, whereas 2 pairs Scourge down, so Free achieving a nice little early victory there with his Corsairs. Typically only 1 Overlord goes down. Looks like Hero is trying to sandwich the Corsairs with his Scourge. Standard maneuver for Zerg these days, but Hero seems like he wants to explore more and scout out with Scourge. That's probably going to be a more realistic go there. He sees the Templar Archives, hopefully. Scourge have very narrow vision. Not sure whether he actually saw the Templar Archives or not. Looks like, but the one thing that Hero needs to pay attention to, which all Zerg really need to pay attention to, is to not let the Protoss achieve air dominance. And, I mean, that does not necessarily mean getting all sorts of Scourge of your own. It could even just mean putting Hydralisk at strategic location. It looks like a battle in the middle of the map here. Hero with a nice force going to catch some of Free's units unprepared, going to try to do some damage. Those Speedlots, though, are able to run away fairly well, losing only 1 thus far by Free. Free choosing to fight here at the choke point, or not choke point, but near the cliff, but able to kill really 1 Zergling. Not much of a successful rearguard action. Well, it was a successful rearguard action, but he didn't really inflict any casualties. He's retreated most of his forces well preserved back to his base. He's also seeing all these units, and the Hydralisk, he is putting down all sorts of cannon at his front. That's a good decision. He does not want to get caught by a Hydralisk break, but it looks like Hero has opted to actually put his Hydras into a defensive position now, and not allow Free to run rampant with his Corsairs, and you can see Free canceling cannon there. I think he had more warping that he canceled after seeing that there was going to be no strong pressure coming in here for Hero. He's hopefully going to scout out these new drones morphing, yeah. So he's seeing that instead, what Hero has opted to do with this opportunity, the early pressure that he tried to put on, was to drone up. He's put down yet another hatchery, and he's built all sorts of drones from his existing hatcheries. That's going to help his economy a lot. I don't know why Free's sending out 3 or 4 Speedlots here kind of pointlessly. He's going to get 1 at least surrounded and destroyed, and the second one probably going to get killed too. Really pointless here by Free. I have no idea what he hopes to accomplish with that. I mean, he knew that Hero actually had a good number of Zerglings and Hydras. What could he possibly hope to achieve with that force? I have no clue. And Free now, with a good-sized Corsair force, +1 air attack upgrade finish.